Everything we hear about Israel today, be it the Gaza genocide or its ever-expanding attacks on other countries, tracks back to Benjamin Netanyahu and his far-right government. But what's lost in all this is the political vehicle that's given Netanyahu decades in office, and the power he wields today with such brutal force.
כנגד כל הסיכויים השגנו ניצחון גדול לליכוד.
That's Likud, the party he's been leading for 20 years now. A party literally born from a Zionist terrorist group, Irgun, plus a mix of other right-wing forces. You see, when Netanyahu took over Likud in 2005, he completed a club of 4 Zionist Israeli men who've committed some of the worst crimes and atrocities against Palestinians. Menachem Begin, Yitzhak Shamir, Ariel Sharon, and Benjamin Netanyahu. So, let's get into Likud and its roots of terror. The key here is Irgun, a Zionist paramilitary group prescribed as a terrorist organization by the US, UK, UN, and others. It was a splinter group of Haganah, the main Zionist paramilitary organization, active in Palestine since 1920. To understand Irgun, we must know one man, Vladimir Jabotinsky, a Russian-born author and poet who founded revisionist Zionism, based on ideas of strong Jewish militarism and territorial maximalism. In 1923, Jabotinsky launched a youth movement, Betar, in Latvia's capital Riga, aiming to indoctrinate a new generation of Jews with supremacist and nationalist ideals, and training them for military action, essentially creating radicalized killing machines. So, when some Haganah commanders broke away in 1931 to set up the more extremist and violent Irgun, all based on Jabotinsky's revisionist Zionism ideas, they already had the perfect breeding ground in Betar. In the 1940s, Irgun and other Zionist gangs that emerged at the time, like its splinter group, Lehi, carried out a sustained campaign of terror attacks on both British forces and Palestinian civilians. One of Irgun's deadliest attacks was the July 1946 bombing of the King David Hotel in Jerusalem, targeting British intelligence officers. Almost 150 people killed and wounded, Palestinians, Britons, and Jews. Then came the Nakba, or Great Catastrophe, the mass expulsions of Palestinians in 1948, overseen by Israel's founder and first Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion, that led to the creation of the state. In the village of Deir Yassin, Zionist gangs massacred more than 250 Palestinians, their brutality recorded in official documents that recount how women and children were stripped, lined up, photographed, and then slaughtered by automatic firing. Deir Yassin was one of many such massacres, and eventually the world recognized Irgun and the other Zionist gangs for what they were, terrorist organizations. Fast forward to May of 1948. Israel is created.
זוהי זכותו הטבעית של העם היהודי להיות בכל עם ועם עומד בזכות עצמו במדינתו הריבונית.
After some initial internal strife and violence between Irgun and the fledgling Israeli army, the terror group formally disbanded. Terrorists from Irgun and the Zionist gangs then became part of the Israeli military, rebranded as the Israel Defense Forces. Irgun's leader, Menachem Begin, turned to politics and founded the Herut Party, carrying his violent legacy over into Israeli state policy. That triggered alarm for many, and when Begin visited the US to drum up support for his politics, several prominent Jews, including Albert Einstein and Hannah Arendt, signed a warning published in the New York Times comparing Herut to Nazi and fascist parties. They also called it a terrorist, right-wing, chauvinist organization. For nearly 3 decades, Herut and the alliances it made were the main opposition forces in Israeli politics. One of these alliances was Likud, formed in 1973, when Begin and Sharon brought together several smaller right-wing forces. 4 years later, Likud won the elections, and Begin, despite his violent past, became Prime Minister. In 1982, he ordered the invasion of Lebanon, leading to one of the darkest chapters of Israeli violence, the massacres at Sabra and Shatila. For 3 days, Israel's proxy militia, the Lebanese forces, supported by the IDF, slaughtered up to 3,500 Palestinians. A massacre authorized by Begin and Defense Minister Sharon. The UN called it an act of genocide, but still no one was punished. On the contrary, Sharon went on to become Israel's prime minister in 2001. The same Sharon responsible for the forced expulsion and killings of Palestinians in Lida, Ramleh and Kibbutz, and the same Sharon known as the Butcher of Beirut. Before him, Likud was led by Shamir and Netanyahu at different points in the 1980s and 90s. Netanyahu then took over again in 2005 and has not let go since. He has also been prime minister for nearly 15 straight years, giving him unmatched influence over both Likud and Israeli politics, and paving the way for him and his current far-right government to execute their genocidal policies. Knowing all this about Israel's political history should put into context what's being done to Palestinians today, to show how the story of Israel is inseparable from its violent foundations. Across the Israeli political spectrum, violence against Palestinians has been accepted and encouraged policy. Every single leader from the right, left, or center has done it. And the same goes for attacks on regional countries and neighbors, all done with impunity and no consequences ever. Now, since October 2023, Netanyahu has taken all this Israeli violence and aggression to a new and unprecedented level. He is carrying a blazing torch, and he just may burn the world with it.